It's an off day for the tiny house build, so let's take this opportunity to talk about a few limits when it comes to building a tiny house. And none of them have to do with its speed. We're talking about height, weight, and width, from non-negotiable to most negotiable. Let's get into it. At least in this country, the tallest vehicle allowed on the road is 13 feet 6 inches. It is not feasible to let the air out of the tires to go under bridges. So with the trailer already being 2 feet off the ground, that gives us 11.5 feet from floor to peak. And you lose some of that within the structure of the roof itself, so you got about 11 feet to work with. Not a lot of space for a loft, but it is doable. The second limit is weight. The axles I have for this tiny house trailer are rated for 10,000 pounds total. And that is the case up to 20 feet in length, so I'm feeling pretty good about this with a 16-footer. Now, it's negotiable in that you can order your trailer with thicker axles if you want to pay more money if you're actually concerned about it. And longer trailers have thicker axles anyway. So that one is negotiable. And the guys at Iron Eagle said they've never had anybody come back and say, I put too much on this, it weighed too much. What they have had folk come back and say is, my weight distribution was off and it bent the frame because I put too much weight on the hitch, for example. And the third limit is our width. This is the most negotiable. So the legal limit of a vehicle width is 8 feet 6 inches without having any kind of a trip permit. You can get a trip permit for about $30 and go up to 10 feet, which is nice and wide. Anything beyond that requires a flag vehicle and, lots of signage, all that stuff. So you can buy an Iron Eagle trailer from 8 feet, 8 feet 2 inches, 8 feet 4, all the way up to 8 feet 6. And if you get one of the thinner ones, you can keep your entire build within that width and never have to get a trip permit. I did not do that. I got the full 8 feet 6, and my siding is going to sit off a little bit. So I will be more like 8 feet 9 when it's all said and done. However, that will still not stick out beyond the wheels themselves. So we're just pushing that line a little bit. When you think about mirrors on city buses and large vehicles that stick out like 1 foot in either direction and almost never hit anything, this isn't so much about the width of the road and safety. It's about standards so people don't push the limits over and over again and there's a way to regulate it, which makes sense to me. And these trip permits are easy to get and not very costly, and many of these trailers are almost never going to move anyway. So that is why I went ahead and got the biggest width I could get to maximize the space within the 16 feet of length. And I'm going to push all the way up to that 13 foot 6, give us a nice barn-style roof to maximize interior space. There are other important limits like the ceiling height and space within your loft, and we'll get to that, but I'd like to have the walls in place and then we can really see it as we go. So, thanks for watching. Follow along for more information.